see.
I don't really remember how many passengers.
23.
23,
Yeah,
something like
23,
that.
right.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why they had a large death toll as far as the crew was concerned is that they had 21 extra crewmen on board training for other dirigible flights. So they had, instead of just normal 20, they had 41, which was a large crew.
So they recognized the problem before they even came in.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't like they didn't hit the mast or something like that.
No, they didn't hit the mast.
No, they didn't.
What it was is the guide cables, they knew they had a problem with them. Every once in a while, one would break. They never had one split the bag, one of the gas bags. She had 16 gas bags in it. It wasn't just one great big, like modern one. There were 16 what they call cells, separate ones. Which contained 7,246,000 cubic feet of hydrogen. 16 of them. And, they think what might have happened was one of the guide wires for one of the cells might have either ripped the cell, ripped away from the cell, or it broke at the other end and ripped down and ripped the cell. They're not sure. Nobody will ever know. And all that excess gas went right straight up to the top. But they never had anything up there to vent it inside. They had sleeves and vents to vent the cells themselves. But they had to be opened, electrically. And so everything collected up at the top. And they think what happens is they drop these ropes, it's coming in, dragging along the ground, static electricity.
How tall was the mast?
The mast was about 70 feet.
So what is the point of the mast? Do you hook onto the mast first?
Yeah. No. What you do is you come in, stop. Okay, they get them stopped. With all the ground crew, he drops these lines down, these mooring lines. And what happens is the people on the ground grab it. It's got a ring on it. They latch this other one in, and it has 4 lines coming off from it. So you got one line coming down with 4 of them. So now you can people, instead of trying to, everybody, trying to pull on one rope, now you have 4 ropes on each of these lines. And that's to steady him. Once they steady him, then they would bring the mast up to him. And then what would happen is there's a cable that goes through the hole in the top of the mast. The cable comes down to all the way to the ground. There's one coming from the ship. And you hook these up. You have a winch. The winch pulls it up, and once it gets up there, then it slowly pulls the ship up into the mast, and then they lock it in. And once that's locked in, then on the tail, there was a round circle here, railroad circle, and they had a car, a flat car that they could put the tail, bottom of the tail, latch that onto it. So if the wind moved like this, the nose would be steady, the tail would just swing like this. Instead of like you see the one that's out there on the mast, it keeps going up and down like this, the tail does. The nose is steady, but the tail, and that's called kiting. And that's what it is when you got passengers, you want to keep that tail down. You can go ahead and let it swing around because you got the stairs that come down and people can walk off the stairs.
Is that the first one that ever had that happen to it? Were there fires before, crashes?
Oh, they had crashes in them, of course, but never with any passengers. That was the first set of passengers that was ever lost due to airship crash. Outside of the Navy one for the Akron. And that was all VIPs, senators, congressmen.
Right.
No big ones.
Now, when you say that he maintained the cells, and then, so he used to control the cells, let the gas out at some point in time?
Yeah, you could. When we get inside, we have a replica of the control car, exact replica. It was used in the movie Hindenberg with George C. Scott. and you can see what they call the water tanks and the cells themselves. There were 16 of them, and you had toggle switches that you could reach over and pull it. You had the gauges on it that told you what the pressure was and approximately how much hydrogen was in each cell. And what you could do is you could vent it off, because when you're coming in, you don't want to be light coming in, you want to be heavy.